Welcome to Jags Drive Time with Ashlyn Sullivan, John Oehser, and Brian Sexton. Jags Drive Time starts right now.
You bench yourself. If you lay the ball on the ground, you come out for a few plays, and then it's up to the position coach, whoever, to put you back in whenever that's time. And that's not James, that's whomever. When the ball goes on the ground, you come back. I almost took Treadwell make a great play Sunday, and he was loose with the ball. Remember that great run he had after the catch and all that? And I almost took him out of the game because he got away from him. But it was he was right next to the sideline. I grabbed him. I said, "Lock the ball." He said, "You're right, coach. You're right. Block the ball. Lock the ball." So it's just to refocus, reframe your mind, and make sure that the sound bites are buzzing through your head as you touch the football.
A lot coming from the James Robinson situation yesterday from head coach Urban Meyer as well as Trevor Lawrence. We just heard what Coach Meyer said, and then we heard Trevor Lawrence, who said James Robinson is one of our best, if not the best, offensive player on the field, and he needs to be on the field. I thought that was very powerful what he said, and I think we can all expect that James Robinson is going to get more carries this weekend.
If he's healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought the most interesting part of the Urban Meyer part was how he talked about it. I think the fans and the observers watching this may have gotten some clarity on what went into the decision, meaning he's been hurt, hasn't practiced, and the thought is that that's where the fundamentals with the fumbling have sort of happened. I don't know that it's still a great move not to get him back in the game quicker, but that's the rationale, and I think that's the first time I had sort of thought about it in that, holistic, to use the wrong word, way.
Yeah, you needed just some answers, and you can agree with it, you can disagree with it, but at least we now know what the mindset is, right?
Sure.
Absolutely. Let's get into big things. Big thing one is the coach himself, head coach Urban Meyer. A lot of questions with Coach Meyer about what is going on with the James Robinson situation and why is he not more involved with the rotations. Well, that's a decision he made for himself a couple months ago.
Yeah, I just evaluated myself as my career went along, and I wasn't as productive in the things I need to be productive, worrying about, which foot the three technique stepping with. When there's so much, I thought just this reevaluated myself, and last half of my career at Ohio State, I didn't micromanage everything, because it's also hard to sleep at night when you don't. And guys you have coaches, that's their responsibility. It's not my responsibility, it's their responsibility. Hire a bunch of good people, coach the fundamentals as hard as possible, let them do their jobs. And a lot of times I get in the way of that, I notice too.
Big thing, too, is the Titans without Derrick Henry, without A.J. Brown, but they are still the same old Titans who will run the ball, even without those star-studded names we just listed. Every matchup is one the Jaguars have to pay attention to.
Yeah, to me, everybody's still dangerous. You're talking about the season that we want to have, the season that we haven't had yet. We're going to continue to play everybody like they're the best. It's as simple as that. So I think the names, the accolades, I think all that is out the door now. It's at the point where you just got to come out there and compete. I don't care who they dress up or who's playing. It don't matter. I'm going to treat them like they're the best out there. So haven't really even dig deep into what personnel or who they are going to have a little bit of playing time. We try to come back. It's so many unanswered questions. But like I said, man, we got a point now. We got to play great football. I don't care who's out there or who's playing.
Big thing 3 is the intensity. Shaquille Griffin mentioned it yesterday. He wants to see no moping on the field for these next 5 weeks. These are really important weeks for the players and the film they put out on the field. And the biggest focus right now is not doing too much.
Man, just like I've always said, keep getting better. I really just want to go play free, go be me, make plays. And I think just having a great week of practice, trusting the game plan, and then just when game day comes, letting it rip. That's something that, as this season's gone on, obviously there's been, like we said, ups and downs and a lot of stuff going on. And that's the one thing I need to be consistent on, is just go out there and play and just be myself. And that's something I want to do a better job of. Don't play in a box. I just go play free. And that's something I really want to do, especially finishing out this season, build on something. Like you said, go stack some wins and feel good about the year. Obviously it didn't go exactly as planned, but still we can finish well and have something to build on for next year.
And there you have it. Those are big things. One thing I think that is worth commenting on big things is big thing 1. And you heard Coach Meyer talk about the micromanagement and how he used to be a coach that was really into that. And he had to take a step back. And I think no one wants to hear this, but we don't give him the leeway and the patience. He's figuring this out too, right? And he's trying to figure out how much he should manage, how much he should trust Coach Parmalee, the running backs coach, with all this going on. It takes some time to figure out the perfect balance.
Well, he's the head coach. He's not the wide receiver coach. He's not the tight end coach. And he doesn't really call plays on either side of the ball. So as a result, he is overseeing what's going on much more than he is specifically involved in. I'm sure when a play comes from Darrell Bevell, there are times where it's like, okay, are we sure we want to run or pass here? But for the most part, he is overseeing the game. That's his role. Other coaches who have come from coordinator positions perhaps have a different approach to that, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, I back to what you were saying, talking about him learning it. I didn't think there was going to be a point this year where it would seem like he was on the defensive like this. I mean, taking over a franchise that was 1-15 last year, that had the number 1 overall pick, that was so talent deficient, and putting it together, I didn't think we'd get there. But it is all part of the learning curve for him to figure out. Because the questions that he's being asked about, why don't you know this, are because of the coaches that we've dealt with, right? Because most NFL coaches can tell you. Tom Coughlin could tell you every single. Now, he micromanaged, and I get it. That's not the way that Urban Meyer is. I totally get it. But we're used to in this league, especially where there's one voice, right? We're used to the coach telling us everything there is to know and giving us that. So this is a completely different paradigm in terms of transparency, right? And I can respect that. I kind of understand it. I kind of like it. But when the coach is the one who talks every week, then he needs to be able to say, yeah, we needed to get James Robinson in the game. Or, no, I didn't want James Robinson in the game at that point. He was injured, or, when you fumble, you go to the sidelines. And by the way, James Robinson isn't the first player who's been sent to the sidelines because he's had trouble with the ball, right? That's happened routinely. There was a time, and you remember, when Bill Walsh had a handle put on a football for Wendell Tyler back in the day, remember? And he had to carry that football around. It was a big story on the NFL Today with Brent Musburger long ago, far away, right? This is not new. He needs to be on the field. He'll be on the field, but it's the coach's prerogative, and I kind of get why the coach is who he is and how he does things.
Ashlyn could tell you, Vince Lombardi also did that in 1967 to a rookie running back. And the rookie running back, Ashlyn, I know you know the name. I can't place the name. Travis was his first name.
Yes, I remember that well. Those were great times, and yes, I recall it greatly.
And I know we got to get on because we're going to have Mike Keith on, but real quick, it's been a good week for Trevor Lawrence at the podium. I really thought his comments on Sunday in Los Angeles, you can't grow weary. And I remember going, wow, that is really heavy stuff for a rookie, right? And then I got to be free.
He's not 55, apparently, because I have grown weary.
Well, I think you can be honest with you. I didn't bring a lot of intensity to the show yesterday. I think I had grown weary. And I think a lot of people who are watching have grown weary. There's 5 games left. And there is a reason to be able to hope that we'll see some improvement, right? And hopefully it's the coach growing through his style. It's the quarterback saying, hey, he's got to be on the field. And look, this is Trevor Lawrence's team, right? So he's taking control in the way that a Peyton Manning would take control. There's a long way to go, no doubt. But when I see that and when I hear him say, I got to play free, I got to be me, I mean, I love it.
No,
I love it. I love what we're seeing from this kid.
Totally
so I've got
agree.
intensity based on the way that he has stood at the podium this week. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's play.
You brought it because of him.
I just love it. I love the fact that he's taking control.
Yes, you
It's
definitely
important.
saw that yesterday. That was the first time you were like, wow, this is his team, and you felt it
Yeah, it's
yesterday, for
his
sure.
team. You bet.
Absolutely, and that is big things. When we come back on Jaguars Drive Time, the voice of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Keith, joins us on the Jaguars Digital Network.
Jags Drive Time is brought to you by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise. to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. ViStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vistarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
This segment of Jaguars Drive Time has been brought to you by the Fields Cadillac of Jacksonville and Fields Cadillac of St. Augustine, members of the Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. We're back, Jaguars Drive Time, getting ready for an away game this Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. And who better than the voice of the Titans, Mike Keith, to join us on Jaguars Drive Time. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Ashlyn.
Good morning. I want to know what is going on with this Titans team right now, losing the last two. What is the mindset?
That's a great question. Coming off a much-needed bye, a football team that's really been through a lot, was able to sort of weather the storm for a long period of time, and then some of the issues with personnel caught up with them in the Houston game, and then sort of magnified in the game against a New England team that's playing well right now and not making any mistakes. But, you know, a ball club that was in both of those games, had a chance in the second half sort of miraculously to take the lead, even though they weren't playing very well. And now we see if they can get jump-started, getting a few guys back after the bye and can get back to what they were doing in the majority of October and the first part of November. We'll see.
Hello, Michael. How are you?
I'm fine, Brian. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, I want to know when you knew that Mike Vrabel was going to be a great head coach. I think I always knew he would be a good one, but I've learned in the last year, and especially this year, the way that he has handled the injury situation there and handled his team, I think he's a great head coach. Did you know that early, or has he shown it to you this year also?
I had a pretty good idea the first time I sat down with him. And it's really bizarre because, you know, you've done this for a long time, and so you understand there are a lot of great football coaches who are not great head coaches. There's a difference. And it's so many of them don't see the big picture and understand that you have to manage everything that goes with it. And Mike did immediately. Mike understood that I had a job to do, that other people in the building had a job to do, and his great respect for everybody was the first sign that he saw that when you're a head coach, and his dad was a head basketball coach, so he came from being around somebody who sort of got it. But he was a guy who, you know, I'm not going into the bunker and I'm not acting like other things or other people aren't important. That was not his style. I've seen some guys like that. Everybody who's been in sports has. Mike had a world view of how you become a head coach. And then year by year, Brian, he's gotten better. He's admitted mistakes at times. He's changed things at different times. He knows when to push, when not to push. He really is a super head coach for that reason. He's a really good ball coach. He's a good football coach. He knows defense. He knows a lot of things about fundamentals, but he also knows how to manage people. And I think that's the real strength of what he does.
I'll tell you who he is. Who Jack Del Rio always wanted to be, but Jack didn't have.
Interesting.
Jack didn't have that same regard for everyone's job in the building, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have that same egoless approach to getting the job done. Jack always aspired to be that guy, and I enjoyed the way that Jack coached in a lot of ways and his approach to the game. But when I see Vrabel, I think that's what Jack wanted to be. So,
well, guys, respond to this, and I mean we we've been through quite a bit this season. As I was doing my boards for Sunday's game, it's really interesting that the majority of the Jaguar team that played against the Titans on October 10th is going to be the team on Sunday. The Titans team, I think they're going to be 15 new guys who didn't play in the first game. Maybe more than that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the only way you get through something like this and have a chance is if guys believe in what you're doing. And I think that's the thing Vrabel has gotten across over. It didn't happen right away, but in year 4, it's clearly here now for the Titans.
Mike, Derrick Henry has been the identity of this team for, ever since he became a star, basically. Are they still trying to be that team, if you follow me, or have they changed any since he's been out?
Well, John, they can't change too much because they're built around him. Everything they want to do offensively has become built around Derrick, play action, bigger receivers who block. The whole thing. When you have a singular force like Derrick Henry, you'd be crazy not to build around it. So it's not as if when you lose Derrick, you can say, okay, now we're 5 wides and we throw every down. And and that's some of what has caught up with the Titans in the last 2 games, John, is that people have figured out, okay, this is what they're going to try to do, and these are the adjustments that we can make towards them. So that's a part of it. But at the same time, listen, they found a couple of backs. I mean, Deontay Foreman has run well. Dontrell Hilliard has run well. There's some things they're doing pretty well right now. They had 270 rushing yards at New England a couple weeks ago, but they're kind of still having to find how you adjust to still being that team, but not having the guy who dictates it the way Derrick does. And it's a very difficult adjustment. We knew it would be. And Vrabel said it. Nobody said, well, we're going on. It's just next man up. Well, it may be next man up with everybody except Derrick Henry, right? Because there is no other Derrick Henry.
Very true. And even without Derrick Henry, this is still a big struggle for the Jaguars, who have not won in Nashville since 2013. So we will see what happens in Sunday's game. Mike, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. When we come back on the Jaguars Digital Network, some he will, he won't, he might. Coming up.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes. Homes that fit your lifestyle. And Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters: Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
Move day is on the 20, the 10. Yes, another successful move to a new home. I tell you, folks, I've never seen a team more prepared than the Move Day crew. With a dominating lead in training, trust, and moving efficiency, it's no wonder why Move Day is the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Track your goods online and get updated play-by-plays throughout your move process. While the Jags are moving the chains on game day, they're here to help you on moving day. Call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit MoveDayMovers.com.
We're back, Jaguars Drive Time.
Believe, baby, believe, baby. Go, Believe, let's go.
First and goal at the 2. Carlos Hyde driving it in for the touchdown. And the Jaguars run an impressive drive.
Offensive lineman Juwan Taylor mic'd up against the Rams. You can check out all the mic'd up features always on Jaguars.com. We're back on Jaguars Drive Time. It is Thursday. It is time for some He Will, He Won't, He Might for Sunday's game in Nashville. Brian, what do you got?
I'm going with Miles Jack. He's had a big week.
He has.
When you are named the team's Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year nominee, that's a big week. And he's really played well again this season, but on a losing effort in most cases. No Derrick Henry this week helps, right? I think you're going to see him build on his big week. He won't miss the chance to make a big play. I still go back to that game in 2017 in New York where the ball was on the ground. He picked it up. What did he go, 93 yards on a fumble recovery?
90 yards.
It was it was a big play. He's got that big play in him, and look, they don't have Derrick Henry. I think there's going to be an opportunity for him this week to make a play, and he won't miss that chance. And then he might score the touchdown this week. I mean, this might be the week that the defense takes the ball away, scores a touchdown. That's how this team is going to win.
Yeah. It's the missing link defensively right now.
That's how this team has a chance to create a winning opportunity for themselves. The offense can't line up and just march down the field like a Titans team can, like the Rams did. They need the defense to give them a short field, to give them a score, a special team score, something on which they can build some intensity.
Mm-hmm. And you've been wanting that for Miles Jack. You've been waiting for that big explosive play all year. So yeah, I agree.
I love the kid. I've always enjoyed talking to him. When he was named the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee here, I cheered because I just think he's a great kid.
He is very underrated also what he does in the community. I was talking to him and he was saying he represents building homes here in Jacksonville. He was saying, for me, I had to pick something in Jacksonville. You can pick all these nationwide charities, but I wanted to do it here in my home, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yep.
Good kid.
Yes.
No doubt. I went with Laquan Treadwell. He will continue to be a factor. For one reason, they don't have anybody else, but he has earned that. And it's been an impressive story because this is a guy who, as people know, a former first-round pick. A lot of times guys who are former first-round picks and don't make it back to contribute. And he has. He won't solve the deep speed issue. He's not that guy, but he wasn't brought in to be that guy. He might, which is the reason I chose this, Brian, because it is he will, he won't, he might.
I'm familiar with it.
There's three. He might have played his way into being a factor for the long-term future. I don't know that he's played his way into being a starter for the long-term future, but in the last couple of games, you watch him and you think, this is a guy who belongs in the league. If each team has 3 or 4 receivers and you multiply by 32, 4 would be 128, Ashlyn.
Whoa.
So I think he's one of the better 128 wide receivers in the NFL, and I think he'll be around for this team contributing. Tell me this. If you have 3 guys you love next year and one of them gets hurt, you don't mind having this kid go in.
No, I think he's got some Allen Robinson traits to him, right? So A-Rob is not a guy who runs by people. He can get by people, but A-Rob's greatest technique is that he can go and take the ball away. And I see some of that from this kid. Mm-hmm. He's that kind of a guy. And if they can work on that and refine it, as much as I enjoyed listening to Trevor this week, I really enjoyed listening to Laquan yesterday when he talked about working with Julio Jones and having to make tough choices and subjugate his ego. And I mean, it's important stuff. I like this kid.
Yes.
Did you like how I Rain Manned there? Because I did not pre-plan the multiplication in that last segment.
No,
so
I would have failed at that miserably.
One of these days, you're going to be a he will, he won't, he might.
I might.
I will say that I tweeted out that clip about the ego because I thought it was one of the best sound bites of this season when he said I had to leave my ego at the door when I re-signed on the practice squad. I'm arrogant. I would not have been able to do that. I would have said, see ya, I'm leaving. That says a lot about him that he was able to do that.
You'll grow. You'll learn to play with a little humility.
I don't know if she will.
My he will, he won't, he might is Shaquille Griffin. He will be back on the field this week after missing 2 weeks from concussion protocol. And, Nothing against Nevin Lawson on Cooper Kupp, but that is not the same matchup when you have Shaquille Griffin back there. So this is big for the Jaguars that he will be back on the field. He won't have a lot of stats, and maybe that's a good thing because he's going to be shadowing Julio Jones. And he said he's gone up against him before in his career, and in his words, he did well. So if it's just a game where we don't see a lot of Shaquille Griffin, that's a good game for him, covering Julio Jones. He might be the guy that we need right now, the guy that is telling it exactly how it is on the practice field. I think it was pretty eye-opening in his press conference yesterday when he said, I had to tell some guys, quit moping around. There's 5 weeks left and quit hanging your head. I thought that was pretty honest of him and something that someone like him, a team captain who's been around, needed to say. There's still 5 games left.
Yeah, they need more guys like him.
Are you doing math on me?
Yeah.
He 128. They need more guys like him. It's hard to build core leadership when you've been as bad as this team has been for the last 4 years because guys you've drafted don't work out, so you don't re-sign them. So he was signed. It's hard for a free agent to do what he's done, but he has come in and quickly become a spokesman for the team. You would like about 10 more of him.
Yeah.
And they've got a few.
Can't afford 10 more of them at $14 million a year.
This is true, but I appreciate his honesty.
No, he's
something that was needed.
His energy level, and when he came in here, and we first got to talk and know him a little bit.
The free agency presser,
without a doubt,
awesome.
He's an impressive guy in that sense. And so you're right. You need him to create a sense of accountability, right? A sense of this is how we do things from the locker room inside out. It's Trevor's team, but on the defensive side, this kid's got the personality to be that guy.
For sure. And that is He Will, He Won't, He Might, presented by Move Day. Move Day is Jacksonville's most dependable and caring local moving company. Move Day is proud to be the official moving company of the Jacksonville Jaguars. To get a free instant quote, call 844-MY-MOVE-DAY or visit movedaymovers.com. We'll be back on Jaguars Drive Time.
You can step up to luxury now.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields. Whatever you're driving, you can step up to luxury now. Plus, get our Fields amenities, which include complimentary loaners, car washes, and our cafes.
Make this your year to step up to luxury at Fields Cadillac, Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Land Rover, Jaguar, and Lexus. When it comes to the ultimate car buying experience, there's only one name that matters. Fields. And Fields matters because you matter. The Fields Auto Group, proud partners of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Your family isn't like anyone else's. Your home shouldn't be either. At Dreamfinders Homes, you can build the home of your dreams in one of their 30-plus communities in Northeast Florida. Choose from luxury single-family homes or maintenance-free townhomes from the 200s. Dreamfinders specializes in homes built to fit your lifestyle. To find out more, call 904-738-0165 or visit dreamfindershomes.com.
At VyStar Credit Union, you inspire us to deliver on our promise, to do good for our members and our communities. That's why we offer more banking options, like better rates and no hidden fees. We also give back, donating several $1 million to hundreds of nonprofits each year. Better financial lives, stronger communities. VyStar Credit Union. Do good. Bank better. Visit vystarcu.org/join. Insured by NCUA.
Jaguars Game Day Radio is brought to you by VyStar Credit Union. Do good, bank better. Getting ready for a Titans game in Nashville this weekend, and we are predicting Monday's headlines today. The Jaguars have not won in Nashville since 2013.
I was
so
there.
what's the vibe we're going for here?
Herculean help. Do you know that Hercules was a Titan? In
Yes.
Greek mythology.
Yes.
You knew
yes.
that, right?
Oh, yes. I knew that well from my Greek classes.
Yeah, I think James Robinson's going to get a bunch of carries this week, and I think he'll get into a groove, and I think that will help. I don't know whether it's enough for them to win. You can't reasonably, rationally pick a team that's scoring 10 points per game over the last 6 games to go on the road, play a team coming off the bye week that has everything to play for, right? But I say that James Robinson's back on the field, and he helps, so we'll call it Herculean help.
All right.
No bulldozer, no problem. I just don't. I know they don't have Derrick Henry. I worry in this game about the second half when I think the Jaguars will play tough in the first half, In the second half, you're going to have a team that's motivated, that's physical, against
Yeah.
a team that's not motivated, except by themselves, which historically in the NFL is a tough thing to overcome. So I think they'll play well. I think they'll play hard. I think the Titans will out-physical them in the second half. I hope I'm wrong.
Yes, I think it'll be make it 8, which is 8 losses in Nashville. But I think it'll be interesting. There's all this focus on Julio Jones and these explosive offensive weapons. And, oh, no, Derrick Henry, no problem. I think the Titans will run well against the Jaguars, but I think they will take away the Julio Jones in those.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, this is not Julio Jones from his, Hall of Fame days.
But you see that name, you're like, oh, I'm going to pay all
He's
attention to
struggled
that.
with injuries. He's really been a non-factor for them all year because he can't stay on the field.
No A.J.
So
Brown.
I wouldn't worry so much about Julio Jones.
But they ran for 270 on New England.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean.
Without Derrick Henry.
8 in the box and stop the run at all costs.
Yeah.
And I think maybe you can do some things with coverage on Julio Jones. You got to stop the run.
Absolutely.
Sell out to stop the run.
Yes, and that is the focus as the Jaguars take on the Titans in Nashville this Sunday. Stay tuned to Jaguars.com for all your game day coverage. We'll be right back here Monday morning on Jaguars Drive Time. Have a great weekend.